Hey gang, it's JC, and this is the Daily Dose for Wednesday, April 25th, 2012. A combined venture with Mind Active in beautiful downtown Clayton. Great television archives up top. Our JC Eye Candy feature below, and over in the corner, our rock and roll poll question. What is your take on fighting in the National Hockey League? And a whopping 52% of you answered it's part of the game, but the league would be better off with less of it. That's pretty smart stuff right there. Number two answer is it's absolutely a necessary part of the game and one of my favorite things about going. So, again, we have one of those splits. 21% said they look like a bunch of drunken goons out there, and only 5% said, what are you looking at, eh? All right, what do you think the greatest baseball movie of all time is? This is some website put this up there, one of these affiliated things with Fox Sports. And I was looking at it, and I thought to myself, well, there's obviously a couple of movies missing. It's more like what your favorite baseball movie, not of all time, but maybe of the last, I don't know, 30, 40 years is, because there's a couple of things really missing from this list, which I'll get to in just a minute. Here are your choices for the greatest baseball movie of all time. Field of Dreams, Major League, 8 Men Out, The Natural, Billy Crystal's 61 on HBO, The Rookie, A League of Their Own, Bull Durham, Moneyball, Bad News Bears, or The Sandlot. Obviously, Bang the Drum Slowly is missing. It Happens Every Spring is missing. But answer in the corner, and let's see what we get tomorrow here on the Daily Dose. And along with Trish, every day we're there from noon to 3 on the Big 550 KTRS. Well, if your husband or wife went behind your back and racked up $20,000 in debt, would you be as upset if they had cheated on you? Almost 2/3 of people say yes. Honesty about money in a relationship is as important as being faithful, and that's too bad because 37% of men and 56% of women admit that at some point they haven't told their partner the truth about something having to do with their finances. Here's some bad news for frequent travelers. You're 6 times more likely to become friends with a stranger you meet on a flight than to actually hook up with them. 39% of people say they've made friends with a stranger they met on a plane. Only 6% have found a romantic partner, and only 7% stayed in touch with their new friend after they got back home. Another thing having to do with travel is the famous sort of legendary question about what's the best seat on an airplane, all right? Not counting first class, people in a survey picked 6A as the best seat. That's a window seat in front of the plane. The worst seat, 31E, that's a middle seat toward the back. Believe it or not, 1% of people actually said they like the middle seat more than windows or aisles. Now, let me just tell you something. Experienced travelers will tell you that a window seat's not the best seat to have, that the aisle seat is always the best seat to have because you have more freedom of movement. You want to get up and go to the bathroom, you don't have to go over the top of somebody. You want to get something from the overhead, you don't have to go past somebody. You're off the plane quicker, but for some reason, I think it's when people don't travel that much, they want to look out the window. Really not that much to see. Earlier this month, Pizza Hut stunned the world by saying that they were having new pizzas, and around the rim of the crust, they were going to stuff hot dogs in there. Now, that was not available here in the United States, but they continue to tease us because now Pizza Hut has introduced 2 new pizzas with crusts made of cheeseburgers and chicken fillets, but only in the Middle East, which just blows my mind. This stuff will make it here. I can hear the hot dogs in the crust is coming, I'm telling you folks. Anheuser-Busch is rolling out a new product this month called Lime-A-Rita, which mixes the flavor of a margarita with, quote, a refreshing splash of Bud Light lime. It sounds strange, even possibly disgusting, but it's got almost twice the alcohol of a Bud Light, so maybe that's a good thing. An annual list ranking the United States from the most to the least peaceful just came out. Maine ranked the most peaceful, 11th year in a row. Louisiana was the least peaceful. The rankings based on everything from murder to violent crimes, prison rates, and stuff like that. Missouri, 45 out of 50. Have a nice day. Sign of the times, our fashion designers coming out with clothes that will help you conceal weapons. A local politician in Tennessee has been accused of sexual harassment. His name, Bill Boner. The average 6-year-old now goes to bed after 9:30 p.m. Eastern. That's, 2/3 of kids don't get enough sleep, according to a lot of studies we have seen. Ashley Madison, this is the website where you go to when you want to cheat. is offering $1 million. It's a bounty on Tim Tebow's virginity. The Kardashians have signed a new deal with E! $40 million, certainly one of the signs of the apocalypse. According to the autopsy report, Soul Train genius Don Cornelius was in considerable pain before he killed himself on February 1st. He was having seizures due to an aneurysm he suffered 15 years ago. He was very depressed. There were people arguing, even on our own station, as to whether or not that was a legitimate story when I read it 2 months ago when the story broke. And it was one of the first things I heard from my sources, that he was having some sort of emotional difficulty that was linked to a health problem. And people were arguing with me. I didn't see that anywhere. It's like, well, you don't have the same sources that I do. All right. Prom season coming up. We're hearing these ridiculous stories about, high school girls spending like, $5,000 on prom stuff. Owen Wilson did not go to his prom because he went to military school, New Mexico Military Institute. Sherry Shepherd from 30 Rock and one of those goofy talk shows didn't go to her prom. Rosie O'Donnell was voted prom queen. She was also homecoming queen. I'm just going to go out on a limb here and say small school. Halle Berry was accused of cheating when she won prom queen. There was some blonde white girl who everybody thought was going to win, and nobody could believe that she didn't stuff the ballot box. Matthew Morrison of Glee voted prom king at Orange County School of the Arts back in 1997. Reese Witherspoon's prom date stood her up. She ended up going with her dad. Andy Dick wasn't voted prom king, but he did win homecoming king, running on the slogan, "Don't vote for a jock, vote for a dick." John Bon Jovi took his future wife, Dorothea. James Franco went to Aspen with his girlfriend instead of going to the prom. That's pretty nice form. And Madonna couldn't get a date to her prom. She ended up staying home. In Pennsylvania, a family of bears walked onto the set of a local newscast just before the weather report, which is sort of surprising because the weather forecast said there was only a 30% chance of bears. Today is National Administrative Professionals Day. Secretaries. Here at the station, our secretaries are skilled in PowerPoint, Excel, and embezzling. Jimmy Fallon's got the entire cast of 30 Rock on the show tonight. That could be worth watching. They're going to be doing that live episode. Birthdays today, right here in St. Louis. Our buddy Joe Buck is turning 43. John Kyle. I mentioned this. He's the Republican senator from Arizona. You've seen him on TV a lot. In 2011, just last year, he spoke on the Senate floor and said abortions are, and this is a quote, well over 90% of what Planned Parenthood does. When the media noted it's actually closer to 3%, his office said his remark, quote, was not intended to be a factual statement. Welcome to politics in the good old US of A. And it was 138 years ago today, back in 1874, that Marconi, the man who invented radio, was born in Bologna, Italy. You got him to blame for all of this. All right, JC's Eye Candy today. This photo was sent to me by a buddy of mine, and for some reason, everybody I showed it to reacted with sort of a stunned disbelief. It was taken of me circa 1981, and it just shows you how quickly the whole thing can just go to hell, is all I'll say. But go ahead and take a look at it. JC's Eye Candy is right below what you're looking at right now. All right, again, our rock and roll poll question. What do you think is the greatest baseball movie of all time, or at least from this list? We have a bunch of choices for you down there. Please pick one, and we'll have results for you tomorrow. That's it. In the meantime, JC's Daily Dose for Wednesday, April 25, 2012, a combined venture with Mind Active in beautiful downtown Clayton. And in the meantime, we've beaten this one to death. Have a good one. See you later. Bye.